It was a lazy Sunday morning when the tranquility of my backyard was shattered by a thunderous splash, a child's piercing scream, and a booming shout of cannonball. I bolted upright from my recliner, heart racing, convinced intruders had breached my property. Still in pajama pants, I sprinted to the sliding glass door and flung it open, only to freeze at the sight before me. A dozen strangers were frolicking in my pool like it was a public water park. At the center of the chaos lounged Melissa, my insufferable neighbor with a rap sheet of boundary violations, sprawled on my patio chair, sunglasses perched on her nose, her hand buried in a bag of my chips she'd pilored from my outdoor fridge. A lanky teenager was diving recklessly into the shallow end. Toddlers slipped across my freshly sealed concrete. And a random guy in cargo shorts was firing up my grill, flipping sausages like he owned the place. I hadn't invited a soul. This wasn't a party. It was a full-scale invasion. Melissa glanced my way, lifted her sunglasses, and with infuriating nonchalance said, "Oh, hi, Tom. Figured you weren't using the pool, so we helped ourselves. Hope that's cool." I stood barefoot, speechless, as her words hung in the air. Wet footprints marred my tiles, deck chairs lay toppled, and snack wrappers littered the grass. Melissa's audacity wasn't nushed. Once blocked my driveway with her SUV, shrugging it off with a "just use the other side and let her dog defile my lawn until I installed cameras." But this was a new low. She'd cannonballed over every boundary I'd ever set. I took a deep breath and said, "Melissa, this is private property." She rolled her eyes. "Don't be such a buzzkill, Tom." The kids needed to cool off. I glanced at two of her brats pouring juice boxes into my pool filter, giggling like vandals. Another relative, a guy in a beers and biceps tank top, lounged on my diving board, texting obliviously. "You never said we couldn't come over," Melissa added, wiping chip dust on my cushion. I nearly laughed. "Because I didn't think I needed a no trespassing sign, Melissa." She stood pacing like she was the victim. "We're neighbors, Tom. Sharing is caring. I pay HOA fees, too." That's when it hit me. She genuinely believed my backyard was her playground. To her, boundaries were suggestions. Permission optional. I could have thrown them out, but something stopped me. Melissa didn't know I wasn't just the homeowner. I was the developer who built this gated community. Every system, from the smart gates to the security software I designed, I still held admin access to every digital lock and camera. A plan formed, one sharper than any shouting match. "Enjoy yourselves," I said calmly. "I'll be inside." Her smug grin said she thought she'd won. Inside, I grabbed my phone and opened the smart home app. My cameras had captured everything. Melissa jimmying the gate, her niece raiding my fridge, her kid dragging my speaker by its cord. I backed up the footage to my cloud and tweaked the pool gate's back-end code, switching from keypad to biometric access, effective by Friday. She'd never see it coming. The rest of the afternoon, I watched her crew trash my yard. Her uncle using my floaties as a beer cooler. A cousin chasing my cat with a pool noodle. Melissa even banged on my glass door, demanding more towels. I nodded, locked the door, and let them revel in their false victory. By Monday, the invasion still burned in my mind. I marched into the HOA office, not to vent, but to dismantle Melissa's plausible deniability. The receptionist barely glanced up, but when I asked for Sarah, the HOA president, her eyebrow twitched. I wasn't the first to complain about Melissa, but I was the first with a dossier of time-stamped evidence. Sarah's face hardened as she watched Melissa's swagger through my gate, her family treating my yard like a free buffet. The clip of her nephew yanking pool toys from my storage drew a whistle. "She didn't ask." Sarah asked. I shook my head. "She said it's a community asset." I played Melissa's smug claim. "Since you weren't using it, we figured we'd enjoy it." Sarah rubbed her temples. "She filed a complaint against you yesterday." I blinked. "Excuse me." Sarah slid over a folder. "Melissa had accused me of discrimination," claiming I'd denied community access to my pool and cursed at her kids. She even alleged I'd left the gate unlocked to entrap her. The nerve, her niece had chased my cat with a skimmer, and she dared call me the menace. Sarah wasn't fooled. She's filed fake complaints before, she said. Most neighbors let it slide to avoid drama. Not me. That evening, I fast-tracked the biometric upgrade and added a motion alert system. Any unauthorized step near my gate would ping my phone, record a clip, and blare a warning. This area is restricted. Step away. 2 days later, Melissa tested it. My phone buzzed mid-afternoon. Motion detected. There she was in oversized sunglasses, toting floaties, her kids trailing with pool noodles. She punched in the old code. Red light. She tried again. Red. Her confusion morphed into fury as she inspected the keypad like it had personally insulted her. She called someone, hissing. He changed the code despite me. This is retaliation. I stepped outside and waved. Oh, Tom, your gate's glitchy. She cooed, sugar masking venom. The kids were so excited to swim. I kept my tone flat. It's fingerprint only. Too many trespassers. You can't lock out community amenities. I smiled. This is private property. Melissa, I've got footage of your trespassing, the fridge raid, all of it. It's with the HOA. Think carefully. Her mouth opened, then snapped shut. Let's go. She barked at her kids, muttering about neighborly love. One kid whined. Why not use our pool? Melissa snapped. Ours is boring. That night, Sarah emailed me. The HOA had called a special session to address a resident's repeated violations. Melissa's social media post lit up the neighborhood's forums by Saturday. A pouty selfie by my locked gate captioned, "Locked out of our pool by a bitter neighbor. Let us swim." Comments poured in, some clueless supporters, but others, including an anonymous link to footage of her fridge raid and kids trashing my filter, flipped the narrative. Her post drowned in popcorn emojis and "told you she's nuts" tags. By morning, she'd deleted it and gone private. But Pool Melissa was born. The HOA meeting was a circus. Melissa strutted in sunglasses indoors, radiating victimhood. Sarah laid out the evidence. Trespassing damage lies. Melissa interrupted. I was bringing people together. The crowd scoffed. A neighbor asked why she didn't ask permission. Another called out her kid's juice stunt. The board voted unanimously. 6 months ban from HOA amenities, fines for damages, and a warning. One more strike and her membership was toast. Melissa stormed out ranting about lawsuits. No one followed. Then her sister Emily messaged me apologizing. She thought the pool party was approved. The lifestyle Melissa had duped her own family. Her kids became ghosts. Heads down, avoiding the cul-de-sac. The teenage son lingered by my mailbox once, maybe to apologize, but said nothing. The saga hit a local news blog. Gatekeeper genius or HOA hero with a thumbnail of Melissa mid-scream. Reddit ate it up, cheering the guy who fought with tech, not fists. But Melissa wasn't done. A week after her sanctions, my phone buzzed at midnight. Motion alert. There she was in black, flashlight in mouth, jumper cables, and a car battery in hand, trying to short my gate's power. She didn't know I'd upgraded to solar backups. As she hooked the cables, spotlights blazed and a voice boomed. Security breach detected. Step away. She froze, then bolted. Battery and all, caught on camera. I sent the clip to Sarah, who forwarded it to the police. By noon, officers served Melissa a citation for trespassing and vandalism, warning of escalation. Days later, she tried again, disguised as a delivery driver, cap, vest, clipboard. My facial recognition pinged her instantly. I sent the footage to Sarah, who forwarded it to Officer Brown. The police returned blunt. One more step near my gate and she'd be arrested. Melissa became a pariah. Neighbors shunned her. Her kids hid indoors and even her gossip pals stopped texting. The collateral damage was real. Her kids caught the fallout of her ego. The neighborhood healed. Sarah held a meeting on boundaries and I spoke about protecting peace, not control. Neighbors thanked me for keeping the drama civil. One joked I should teach digital defense 101. A month later, Melissa's house went silent, curtains drawn. Then a moving truck arrived. She left without fanfare. Duffel bag in hand, SUV peeling out. Rumors said the HOA's legal threats and her sister's shame pushed her out. A quiet couple moved in, bringing lemonade to clean up a stark contrast. Karen's chaos had bizarrely united us. Neighbors bonded over brunches and fence painting. Her antics a shared cautionary tale. Sarah gave me a framed photo from an HOA event captioned, "Respect lives here." I hung it by the pool. Now peaceful. It's only splashes from invited friends. Above the gate, I mounted a plaque. Entry earned through respect, not assumption. It stood as a quiet testament to a lesson hard-wound uninvited cannonball that taught us all how to swim with boundaries.